Ezemidlalo, guys, today I'm here at Lord Park Archery Club. Next to me, I'm joined by Johan. Johan actually was a player of the Arch, and now he's a coach of Archery here at Lord Park. He will tell us why the love of Archery. And before actually go live, he told me actually he's dropping farm, and then also now I lala from since way back, and now you've got 22 years doing Archery. Why the love of Archery, Johan?
I don't really know. I often ask the new people who come to archery. I always ask them, why do you want to do archery?
Yeah.
And I get the same answer from everybody. They say, I've always wanted to do this, but they can never tell me what the real reason is. Personally, for me, I think it probably comes from the movies.
Okay.
We all watch movies when we are kids. And you see the archers, you see the wars, and you hear about Robin Hood and all those people. It probably starts there, but nobody really knows.
Can you please tell us, man, what it entails, archery?
Maybe I can sum it up for you as follows. There are many, many different kinds of bows, different kinds of archery.
Okay.
But they all have one thing in common. It's a bow with a string. You've got to pull it back, hold the poundage. We call it poundage, it's the strength of the bow. You've got to try and hold it still. Line up your sight with the target, and then you release. And you hope for the best. And the bow propels the arrow through the air. Simple as that. It's actually very simple, but at the same time very complicated, especially when it comes to the mind of the archer. Going through the motions is easy. But stepping onto the shooting line in a competition where you are faced with a target far away and other archers trying to achieve the same as you are, then it goes to the mind. Then it's not about the physical anymore. It's all about the mind. What you are thinking, what you are not thinking, that becomes important.
Can you briefly tell us the level of archery in South Africa? And we understand that in the Olympics, it's one of the sporting codes that's being recognized.
Yes, it is an Olympic sport. It's been an Olympic sport from, I think, 1902, I'm not sure. It is an Olympic sport, but only the recurve bows are allowed in the Olympics. The compound bows that the hunters use with the little training wheels on the ends, we like to call them, that is not yet allowed in the Olympics. It has to be a recurve bow like the one behind us.
Yeah. Can you please tell us with the one that you currently have just killed to us, can you show and explain to us about these ones?
Yeah, this is quite a modern arrow. Let me take a better one for you.
Okay.
This is quite a modern arrow. It's made of carbon. Some arrows, the older arrows, are made of aluminium.
Okay.
Of course, many, many years ago, they were made of wood with real bird feathers at the back. But nowadays, it's carbon. Some have got aluminium on the inside. It's got a point. We call them target points.
Okay.
The hunters, of course, use different points, vicious points. And then, of course, we've got the feathers or the fletchers or the vanes. They've got many names at the back. And then we've got the knock, which clips onto the bowstring.
Okay. Ezemidlalo, guys, Azishe, I've listened from Johan, how dangerous it is, man, to be an archer.
Just repeat that.
Any sporting code, like we could see that it's very sharp. How dangerous it is?
How?
Dangerous it is.
Oh, dangerous, very dangerous. Yeah. If you stand close to my bow, this arrow will probably go right through you.
And the level of archery in South Africa or in the NMP, how is it? And also, if ever I've got any leagues that are happening during the week or on the weekends, what are those leagues?
Look, most of our competitions are over the weekends because, most people work during the week. So archers, club members, they will go and train during the week. After work, the kids go after school. And then most of the competitions, or basically all the competitions, are over weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Now, archery competitions are advertised. Nowadays it's all on WhatsApp, basically. So every club member will get the poster on WhatsApp
Okay.
where you can see where the competition is, when, the times, what kind of competition, all that. And then entries have to be in normally a week before the competition, so that the organizers have time to get everything at the right distance and all that sort of thing. And then on the day of the competition, the archers will arrive. They will be given score sheets, etc. They will be given a little speech by the judge. There's always a judge at a competition. And then, depending on the weather, on conditions, they will be given a certain time to warm up. And then when the warm-up is done, the competition starts. The whistle blows and you shoot. The most popular competition, also at the Olympics, is called the 720, which means you shoot 72 arrows. And then archers are ranked. So the one with the highest score is ranked archer number 1.
Okay.
Like at the Olympics, you've got 64 archers, 64 men and 64 ladies. So they are ranked from number 1 to number 64.
Okay.
That is after 72 arrows. And then, of course, they start with the eliminations, where archer number 1 will shoot against archer number 64. And then the rules will change slightly. And then, of course, the loser goes home.
Okay.
And those eliminations go on until you are left with 4 archers. Now, those 4 archers shoot for the 3 medals. Okay. So one of them goes home with nothing, and 3 go home with medals. But that is not easy. And of course, at the Olympics and the 720s, he shot at a distance of 70 meters, which is quite far.
Johan, thanks so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Guys, now I'm going to wait for, actually, and I'm going to wait. Johan, you have to teach me how to aim, and also how to stand, how to position myself on the archer. As a midlalo Azishe.
Okay, now, as I explained just now, there are many different kinds of archers, different kinds of bows, different distances, different targets. Okay. Now, this is called a 6-ring target. The highest score is a 10, and it only goes down to the 5. So any arrow that's outside this area is scored as a miss. Okay. Now, this target is for the more advanced archers, and the men will be shooting at this target at 50 meters and 30 meters. The ladies as well. Okay, can we move to that target?
Yes. Can I move this in? Can I move it?
Yeah, you can move that. Okay, now this is an indoor target, because we also have indoor competitions, which is shot at a much shorter distance, which is 18 meters for the adults. Okay. You see, this target is much, much smaller because it's a shorter distance. It goes from the 10 ring right down to 1, and the same as on all targets, an arrow that hits there is a miss. Okay, simple as that. And then also, I haven't got one to show you, but we also get a 3-spot target, which has 3 smaller ones, one above each other, where you have to shoot 1 arrow at each target. Okay, that is normally that is what you would see at World Championships. Okay. Is the 3-spot. But most archers at our level, they will all choose this one, because simply you can score more points by shooting in those areas. On the 3-spot, you've only got it up to there. Okay, now the most popular target for outdoor sports, of course, is the big target. This is the target that is used for outdoor archery, most of the distances. It is also the size of the target that you will see at the Olympic Games. If you watch on TV, it is 122 centimeters across. The so-called bullseye, we don't always like that word. The so-called bullseye is the 10 ring, which is in the middle there. So an arrow that's in that circle scores 10 points. And then it's quite simple. It goes down from 9 down to 1. And any arrow, of course, as I said, outside there scores nothing. And on score sheets, we write a M for a miss. Okay. Then also inside the 10 ring, there's a tiny ring there, which is it's still 10 points, but it is scored on the score sheet with an X. And in some competitions, if there's a tie at the end of the competition, the archer with the most X's will be the winner. Simple as that. And also, of course, most people don't know it, an arrow that touches that black line gets the highest score. So an arrow that hits there, for example, there, that arrow is touching the black line, so it scores 9 points and not 8 points, because the black line is part of the higher score. Okay, very simple actually. And of course, when archers have scored their arrows, before they draw the arrows, they are marked, as you can see there with tiny marks there. We mark all the arrows before we draw them. The reason being, sometimes we have bounces, which means an arrow hits a target and it bounces right out. Now in that case, the judge is called, and the judge will look for a little hole that has not been marked, and he will give that score to the archer. Okay, very simple really. But getting it in there, that is the problem. Okay.
It's the Midlalo Azishe. Guys, today is Lapa Ewoma. I'm going to learn more about the parkour. Parkour, when the Bugela Miss TV or in the videos, the YouTube videos, these guys are climbing mountains, buildings. But next to me, Kara, she will tell us, what is parkour? What is parkour?
Hi, parkour is basically a discipline, or some would say a sport, where you use your environment and you test your athletic skills. So you're looking for ways to interpret the environment and to move and also develop your body and mind in a sustainable way. And basically you're going to train yourself to overcome and adapt to obstacles, whether they're emotional or physical.
Also, what I've noticed when it comes to parkour, it's more of you have to make a good decision making because it's more risky.
It can be high risk, but the way you choose to practice will depend on who you are as a person and your skill level. So normally the things that you see on the internet that are like crazy are people that have been training for like 6 or 7 or 8 years to get to that level. Most people will start off at more of a grassroots level, and then they will train up slowly so that they can develop their skill. Once their skill is better, then they can then bring in more risk. And the risk part is an optional choice for most practitioners. Some people like to push that side of things. Other people prefer to explore the creative element of it more.
Guys, as more I understand, most of the sporting codes can be indoor, can be outdoor. But parkour, when I double check it, it's more of an outdoor sport. Am I right?
Yeah, mostly outdoor. Obviously overseas where they have a lot of colder, wetter climates, they tend to more do like indoor and outdoor seasonally. But it was developed primarily as an outdoor sport. It can be in a natural environment, it can be an urban environment. You also tend to only see urban environments, but you can also go into like public parks and use trees and rocks and things like that. So yeah, it was developed primarily as an outdoor sport, but it can be done indoors.
Guys, as we heard from Kara, said that it's an indoor and outdoor sport, but the love of it, where did you come about to love parkour? Because there's a different sporting code that you can go through, but why parkour?
Well, for me personally, I love the fact that it develops everything. Like most sports will only develop 1 or 2, maybe 3 physical attributes, but parkour, you're working on your agility, your flexibility, your power, your strength, your mental fortitude, your endurance, all those different elements are brought together. And then the creative aspect of it is really nice as well, because most sports are really prescriptive. They say you move this way, you do X, Y, Z, and that's the rules. But in parkour, we're constantly, I wouldn't say pushing the rules, because we don't really have that kind of rigid structure around our sport, but it's more just exploring creative elements, exploring your environment, coming up with new and interesting ways to explore things and learn to understand your environment.
Guys, Parkour is it's a new sport that and now I'm there phone and I didn't even know about it, but now I'm learning every day about parkour. But as much as Kaira, there's understand that there's a structures in place in South Africa or in NMP. What are those structures in order if one needs or wants to participate in parkour?
So they are in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Pretoria and Port Elizabeth and Durban. There are coaches that offer lessons. We're all part of the Parkour South Africa board.
Okay.
And they will offer in their relative environments where they can, with what they have available. So in some cases they'll go to schools and they'll train on the school premises or university grounds because they tend to have nice objects that you can work with. But really it depends on what you have available and who is available to teach you, because not everybody, like a lot of people have that spirit of the movement. They enjoy the movement aspect of parkour, but not everyone can coach it. Yeah. It's a different mindset to coach. So we are hoping to expand that in the coming years. It's been difficult because it is a bit of a niche sport. It's very physically challenging. It's very mentally challenging. So not everybody has what it takes or has that interest in it. But we do want to keep developing it across South Africa and helping it to grow.
Guys, now I've learned about everything about parkour. It's my turn now to go and stride and go and train to try to what is it? To balance or not to train, to practice.
You're going to practice, yes.
I'm going to practice parkour. Hopefully I won't get injured. Let's go.
You won't get injured.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Azishe, guys, it's my turn now to practice parkour. Azishe. Ezemidlalo Azishe, guys, nani yazibonela now the phezulu where I'm gonna learn. Actually, I'm gonna practice the parkour. But next to me, I'm with Mark. Mark, they say one of the best students. Says parkour up. So Mark, why the love of parkour?
Oh, I just love the movement, eh? Just moving freely.
Sorry, Azishe, guys, I didn't check that is happening. Yes.
I think being able to move freely through any environment is the best. It's the best kind of motion you can have. And I just love it. It's so much fun.
How often do you practice parkour?
Well, just once a week, for like an hour or two, and that's it.
By the look of things, it seems like it's easy for one to get injury. And then, have you ever sustained any injuries while practicing parkour?
I actually never. I practice quite carefully. Make sure I don't hurt myself.
Is there anyone in your family that you have done parkour before and that's when you have looked up to?
That's just me. I look up to myself. I put in the work and I get the results I want. Yeah.
And maybe in the future or in practice to come, what do you want to achieve in parkour?
I just want to improve on all my skills, but mostly my flexibility. I need to learn how to bend. Yeah.
Mark, show me how to do a parkour. Take it on, boy. Sharp. It's the middle of Azishe, guys. Now, Mark, you have to show us. Bana senzo njani lo mtsiba sikuyo, mazo tsiba. It's the middle of Azishe. And so yiki. Ezemidlalo, guys, kumne parkour namhlanje bekungakho ngiphathele khona namhlanje, but just behind me uMark will do something, maybe a flick, then we done. Ezemidlalo Azishe. Ezemidlalo Azishe, guys, today is Lapa Woma Road. Today we're gonna learn more about the paddle. Paddle is a sport similar to tennis, but it's different. So now when it comes to playing and also the ease of the bounce, and also a paddle is being played by the pairs. It's only two, but by two, but not umdu or one. But next to me, I'm being joined by player more he will tell us more why do you choose to play paddle out of all sporting codes?
I think paddle is very enjoyable because it has a mix between the two elements of tennis and squash, which I both love, and I just feel paddle tennis is a complete sport out of the two, so that makes it the best sport for me.
When you say the best sports for you, then obviously how often do you practice the paddle? Because it's the best sports for you actually.
I actually try and practice every single day. So yeah, I'm also doing shadowing for my coach. So I'm also been coaching every day with him. So yeah, I play every day. Yeah.
When you play every day, it's like any kid in any town actual or township, they wish to play this sport as well. What is the message to the youngsters that are also want or wishes to play, especially in schools as well, who wants to play paddle? What's the message to them?
I say you should just put yourself out in the communities, message out in the groups, let them know you're looking for games, tell them, you know, your ratings, what. People are always down to play paddle because the sport is so growing and fast and everything. So, yeah, I just say put yourselves out in the community. If you're at schools, you can let the teachers know, you want to play paddle. I'm sure that will work.
As guys, as I keep on saying this, education and sport, it always goes together. Now we just heard from Malted, it's education and sport goes together. More, I just hope you won't go anywhere. Then you have to play with me. Oh, I'm gonna have to win you actually.
Of course, we're gonna win. Don't worry. There we go.
Azishe, guys. Now I'm being joined by the coach of Techno Paddle. He will tell us more about what are the fundamentals of coaching paddle and also the importance of the racket. We understand the racket is not the same as the one of the tennis. So, coach, the importance, man, of playing the paddle.
Yeah, look, I think the importance of playing paddle, I think, I mean, it's getting outside, it's getting active. I think we've seen it that with a boom across the country, people want to get outside, they want to get active, they want to get moving, they want to play a sport that they can play. And then with the racket, first time I played paddle, I thought it was the same as a swing ball racket, but it isn't. There's so much technology in it. There's the carbon, there's the hard foam, the soft foam. So depending on your game style, you will play a certain style of play when you play paddle, and then certain rackets would suit you better than other rackets.
Coach, let's act as if that we're talking with people that they don't understand and don't know paddle here. Please briefly tell us the rules and then why it's always it's being played by two people, not by one person, and also the serving, importance of serving and everything. Can you please tell the viewers at home what is paddle?
Yeah, so I think with regards to the rules, it's a mixture of tennis, squash, badminton, all of these things, and so the ball has to go over the net.
So I actually played badminton. I think two weeks back I played it, but that was difficult, man, because that thing slow and moving and it hit it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, the ball has to go over the net. It has to bounce before it hits anything. But the only difference is what makes it similar to squash is after it's bounced, it can hit the glass or it can hit the cage, and then you can play from there. The serve is where you bounce it and you hit it from underneath waist height instead of throwing up and hitting it. But yeah, just the way that the game is structured allows the rallies to go on for long. It allows people to have fun and for all levels of players to play together, no matter what their strengths or their levels are.
Guys, as you have heard, as a midlalo, you mentioned the thing about serving. When you serve, you understand that if you serve, it must hit the wall first before you can play it, or correct me if I'm wrong?
No. So the serve has to go over the net and it has to go across and just bounce in the block there before the back line. So it has to bounce. It can, after it's bounced, it can hit the glass and then you can play it off the glass, but it's optional. You don't have to.
Lastly, any sporting court that you're playing can be tennis, can be cricket. You need consistency. Yes. And how important it is when it comes to paddle, with it consistency?
So with paddle, consistency is the name of the game. If you're consistent, if you lower your mistakes, there's two ways to win a point. You hit a winner or the other team makes a mistake. Now, if you're playing on my level, mostly I'm not hitting winners every point. So you're waiting for the other team to make a mistake. You're staying in the point, and from there, you're winning the match by the other people making the errors. So if you can stay consistent in paddle, you are at a high level.
Before I let you go, coach, and then I can see that it's ready there. The challenges, man, when you're a coach, obviously you're facing the challenges, can be the kids or the family, whatever. What are those challenges mainly when you're coaching paddle?
Yeah, so I think with paddle, everyone's so enthusiastic at the moment about paddle. There isn't quite yet the problems that you have from other sports where the parents are expecting them to go win massive tournaments, or it's just going out having fun. The challenge we have at the moment is trying to get more kids onto the court. Adults are playing. Everyone's playing paddle, but for the kids, getting into schools, getting the kids to come onto the court, these are the things that we're aiming for, and I'm sure is starting. We're seeing glimmers of hope there. So as soon as the kids start playing, man, it's going to go crazy.
Maybe in future we will see you coaching paddle in the Olympics.
Would love that. There is talk that paddle will be in the Olympics in 2028 or even 2032, depending on how fast they can get things through. So that's definitely an exciting thing in the future. Yeah.
Coach, all the best, man.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, it's a midlalo, guys. Azishe. Now the main man of the techno paddle, he will tell us more about why they decided actually to open techno paddle. Why?
Very plain, very simple. Played paddle once. One of my business partners, Stanley, actually went and played paddle with his daughters. Walked off the courts and that was him. It was hooked and we decided to turn it into a business.
And we heard that techno is one of the owned by the franchise actually around South Africa. If I'm wrong, correct me. Talk to us about techno.
Yeah, so we launched our very first court December 2023. We opened our first branch in Potchefstroom. And then since then we've actually grown. We actually own 6 clubs now. However, we don't just have the clubs that we own. We actually import courts, distribute, install for other clubs. So in the year of 2024, we installed about 122 courts nationwide. That's including our own 6 sites.
Director, obviously, when you have giving back to the communities, you've got the ambitions and objectives as a techno paddle club. What are those?
So yeah, we like to get involved in the community. We actually pride ourselves on getting involved with the community. We do fundraiser events and stuff. We actually tied up in Potchefstroom towards the end of last year. We did a run with a company called Pause, which is basically like the SPCA. So we do fundraisers, paddle, and so you'd bring a can of dog food or a can of cat food or a blanket, and we'd actually give you reduced rates. We do fundraisers similar to what you get as a golf day. Okay. The guys can book the courts out. We do reduced rates. They can then do a fundraiser for any charitable cause whatever they're supporting at that stage.
As a midlalo, guys, it's Azishe, guys, niyazivela na it's not only about the individuals, about the family as a whole, and also it accommodates wonke umuntu willing to participate upper paddle. Lastly, what's next for techno paddle?
Up and up, eh? We are currently looking at 3 other sites that we're branching out into, and then we've set ourselves a high standard this year. Is that because we're so passionate about the sport, is that if we could install 122 courts last year, we are going for 150 this year.
As a midlalo, Azishe, guys, we have heard that they are doing well when it comes to the paddle, not only at Woma, actually the whole South Africa, and the paddle is a sport that's been growing wider and wider, or actually bigger and bigger in South Africa as a whole. As a midlalo, Azishe. Now it's my turn to practice paddle. Then the coach I could see on the other side already. He will teach me about the paddle and the basics of the paddle. As a midlalo, Azishe, must paddle and practice.
Awesome, guys. Well, we're here with the equipment. This is what a paddle racket looks like. As you can see, you have all different shapes and sizes of paddle rackets. The ball looks very similar to a tennis ball, but don't play paddle with a tennis ball. The paddle ball is slightly smaller and slightly softer, so you have to get paddle specific balls. And then the rackets come in all different shapes and sizes. You'll see here mine has a bit of carbon on it. It's got this specific shape. Mine is what they call a teardrop shape. This also looks like a teardrop shape, maybe more of a diamond shape as well. So mine also has a very smooth surface, where over here we can see this one has a bit of a rougher surface, which would add more spin to your shots and be able will allow you to put that spin on the ball when you hit the ball. So there's actually quite a lot of technology and effort put into these things. So when you see the big price on the paddles, there is a reason for it. The pricier the paddle, the better result you're going to get at the end of the day.
All right, thanks, man. Guys, it's my turn now to win, not to practice, to win actually. So, Azishe is a midlalo.
Let's do this.